Sacred Gardens! What in the Queen's sake are you doing up there? Oh dear, you look like a bouquet garni of rosemary hanging from the roof. Don't tell me we are having the plague again. Here, let me help you out. Well, at least you know how to make an entrance. My apologies if you got hurt by the fall. Are you okay? Here, join me for tea. A warm cup of my special mix will help you recover from any bruise. Better now? I hope you're ready, because we have so much to talk about. You are still the lucky one, you know. You almost got caught by Cordelia. Thanks to the Oak Princess, I was here to free you. Can it be? Are you telling me that you don't know who Cordelia is? Oh, my dear lost kitty, stop teasing me so. How naughty. Huh, so you are serious. Well, that will make sense. After all, you are not from this realm. You are in Mercury Tower, the most famous and prestigious school of arcane arts in all the kingdom of Calnestonia. Specifically, we are in the private room of Cordelia, the librarian of the school. You must be careful here. She's never in a good mood with the trespassers or intruders. She's the guardian of the archives. She's the keeper of all the secrets that cover the walls of the library. She's one of the oldest beings living in this whimsical institution, so be cautious while being in her domains. But she's not the only interesting character in Mercury Tower. Here, let's gossip about them a little, shall we? Let's begin with the odd one. She's the funny one. Mercury Tower is a place where you can learn magic with the help of the most talented teachers. However, such virtue comes often with some level of extravagance. After all, the talent in the arcane arts can come from any place. Many students end up getting used to some level of strangeness after studying in the academy, although the abjuration apprentice learned this lesson faster. Letitia is the teacher for this specialty. She is one of the most talented and intelligent wizards in terms of protection, barrier, and any kind of magic defense. When the common folk meet this teacher, they suddenly realize that she may be quite different from the other abjuration magic users. Most of the people notice her distant personality, introverted character, and severely blunt attitude when teaching her subject. However, those people have never met another abjuration wizard before. What most people don't know is that, for most of the abjurers, to behold the horrors of this world is a perfect motivation to learn how to protect themselves from the arcane and the occult. In case of Letitia, the main difference from the common abjurer resided behind her mask, which is part of the elaborated suit she needs to survive and perform her duties here on the surface. It usually takes 1 year for her students to realize that the reason they see objects moving and floating around her teacher is not because of any cantrip. The explanation behind why she always knows is they are lying, or why her voice sounds perfect and clear from any place of the classroom is because of her innate psionic powers, as many individuals from her race. To have an illicit or mind flyer as an abjuration teacher can be quite unusual indeed. Although once you realize that her reason to be on the tower is to teach you how to elevate your defenses against all the dangers of this world, you discover that there is not a better teacher than a creature who is immune to magic. Her methodical and practical teaching skills are famous at the academy. She detects the strong and weak points in any individual. She likes to nourish the talent and sever the doubt that could cloud your judgment in critical situations. If a student doesn't want to have their minds read, then they shall stay guard and protect themselves. She knows that the worst horrors can come from one's mind, so she prefers a certain level of introspection and self-awareness in all of her students before learning how to even project a barrier or raise any protection. She doesn't like to talk much about her past, not because it's painful, but because it already happened and cannot be changed. She realized that there was something odd in her when she started doubting her connection to the elder brain. She began to doubt once she discovered there was magic in her and had to keep the secret from the rest of the colony. She continued questioning herself when she escaped and joined a group of adventurers in the Underdark. She discovered that the more she continued on that path, more questions she had on her now independent mind. Once she helped the group of adventurers to destroy the elder brain, she decided to find the answers for all the new questions she started to formulate in the world. Years later, she arrived at the tower and has been teaching abjuration since then. I told you she was funny, but not as funny as this old soul. For the ones that are curious about the divination arts, the Mercury Tower has also one of the best arcanists in the matter. In fact, you'll only find this divination specialist in the tower and nowhere else, for her fate is sealed to these walls. Ariadne von Terra III, or just Ariadne, is a teacher of the Divination School of Magic. She was a student here at the Academy as well, and as a student, she was one of the brightest oracles of her era many years ago. She was able to predict any kind of fate twist without difficulty, and her prophecies were intricate yet certain. She passed her exam years ahead for her age, and spent most part of her career as an oracle for many nobles and kings around the world. Ariadne had a promising future ahead of her, but she already knew that. She was calculated, organized, and secure. She liked how every plan of hers ended up together as she anticipated. For many humans, life must have some level of mystery and surprise. Without that level of uncertainty, life felt empty or dull. But for Ariadne, the surprises and the fun of life was a very small price to pay in order to achieve her goals. She studied many ways of reading the stars, observing the signs and predicting the threads of destiny from the elves, who enjoyed a life expectancy way longer than her. After all, she knew that she didn't have much time left in order to accomplish her destiny. She was 55 years old when she returned to the tower in order to pass the exam to become an archmage. Her skills were sharp, and she already predicted what level of difficulty and risks she was going to face for the exam. However, for the first and last time in her whole life, Ariadne failed to predict one thing: her own death. You see, certain elements or materials have some kind of natural resistance to magic. For example, the adamantine is a magical mineral that has immunity against any kind of magic from the School of Divination. So when Ariadne von Terra III was murdered with an adamantine dagger on her sleeve the night before her exam, she realized that she overestimated her prediction skills. Now as a ghost, Ariadne has become one of the elder spirits who roam the walls of the tower. Not many ghosts can handle the pass of the time like she did. However, Ariadne soon learned all the possibilities that his state can offer. Once she experienced the many phases of grief and acceptance for one's death, she learned how to control her spectral abilities. She even learned how to use all her arcane knowledge in this undead state. She reoriented her goals and learned how meaningless yet beautiful life could be, and yet how much she regretted not enjoying hers a bit more when she had the chance. On the other hand, she didn't have the whole pressure on her back for all the plans she had in mind when she still could breathe. She even gave up her resolve to mask her murder. At least that's what she told anyone who asked about it. After all, that event happened centuries ago. With her mind clear and the whole afterlife ahead of her, she made a pact with the archmage of the tower, becoming the new divination teacher. As master of the arcane, Ariadne combines all the expertise and diligence she cultivated in her years alive, while adding wisdom and awareness that only the ones on the other side of the veil possess. She is enigmatic yet clear, exigent yet patient. Also, she decided not to appear in front of the eyes of the students of the first years until they managed to discover her on their own. As she said, only the ones that can learn how to see the invisible are able to learn the hidden truths in the School of Divination. Instead, Ariadne uses her spectral abilities to hide secret signs for her first-year students, like secret messages written in the mirrors, hidden homework and instructions between the pages of their grimoires, or notes scribbled with secret codes in their pockets. Only after they developed their skills and finally met their elusive teacher, they start the real instruction in the school. Not many students notice, of course, but she's kind of a prankster. She even likes to scare the more advanced students with the stories of how her murder is still on the tower. Many students believe that there is not an official teacher in the divination arts, but maybe that's for the best. After all, a certain level of mystery is necessary for this practice. Terrific! But we have bigger fish to fry here. The Mercury Tower is one of the tallest buildings in the whole continent. Some travelers describe the academy as the needle of the north or even the sky spear. But not all the people are as impressed with such construction. Even being an incredibly tall tower built in the middle of the Valley of Ferbes at the north of Calnestonia, there are so many legends of castles and cities constructed in the very fabric of firmament, where the castles extend their columns until they support the same sky. The cities grow on the back of huge clouds that are firm as a mountain, or dark bastions are hidden inside the heart of a ferocious storm. That was the case of Emerald Osbin, who was never impressed by the construction of the Mercury Tower, but enjoyed the effort regardless. After all, he came from a family who lived in such legendary places, running on these corridors and gazing to the whole world from their ivory balcony. Not many people have met a cloth giant and lived to tell their story, but the few that attend Mercury Tower to learn about conjuration were among those who can tell such story. Born in one of the most influential noble families among the cloth giants, Emerald was educated as one of the children of the Duchess of the Eastern Skies. He was the youngest of 4 siblings, so he never had many chances to inherit his mother's title. But that didn't mean that he wouldn't learn how to live among the nobility as one of the sharpest people in the court. He knew how to spread rumors, negotiate, praise, and manipulate in order to gain the favor of many allies and banish his opponents. However, he couldn't be prepared any plan to maintain his social status after his mother's murder. There were plenty of theories and stories. Many told how Emerald elaborated a plan to kill his family and inherit the whole title for himself. Others said that his siblings confabulated to eliminate their mother to make Emerald the scapegoat of the plan. To this day, these rumors are not confirmed. Emerald is a good liar, and he never tells the same story twice when asked about it. But that didn't matter, because all of the tales end up the same way. Emerald was stripped of his titles and banished from the kingdom in the sky. After traveling and living years surviving in the new world ahead of him, Emerald quickly learned how to pass as a smaller creature with magic. He began to gain status among noble houses in Calnestonia, and soon he was contacted by the Archmage of the Tower. Not many people understand the importance of knowing when to use the right words at the right moment, as the wizards do, especially the conjurers. Creating portals and creating matter from nothing is a challenge itself, but to contact beings of other planes of existence can be a whole study. Emerald Osbin knows the correlation of how to persuade others to participate in his plans. It didn't matter if they were a nobleman, merchant, fiendish creatures, or elemental beast. In his lessons, Emerald likes to create a space where cunning, eloquence, and the willpower will be the most important tools in order to excel in conjuration magic. He likes his students to be sharp and intelligent and to use any means necessary to achieve their goals, even if they have to step over other people to do so. Yes, his lessons are tough, but not without rewarding. Emerald likes to entertain his students using a charismatic way to explain the basis of his lessons. He is clever, witty, and very sarcastic if you are not careful in his class. He likes to put on a show and he won't hold back exposing or mocking you, if that makes his point clear in front of the rest of the classroom. As you can see, appearances can be deceitful, but important. There is plenty of stereotypes around wizards or other practitioners of the cult. Most of the common folk expect to meet with a wise man, probably very elder, whose words are filled with riddles to hide their truths. Some other people prefer to imagine the arcanist to be weird and outcast, proclaiming nonsense like the most reclusive eremites do. However, those are plain and dull archetypes the people like to put on the wizards. Those people, of course, never met anyone like Atreya Aribel, the enchantment teacher at Academy. Regal, poised, and composed, this high elf woman can catch any gaze of the room just by sitting in the corner without doing anything at all. Most of the people feel intimidated by her presence, which makes anyone with a weak attitude tremble just by being looked at by her. The most intimidating thing about her isn't her wits, it's just her presence, which seems to be enough to command the mood of our entire room. Of course, many people assume that her intimidating gaze and charisma should be the result of a magic spell or maybe some kind of mystical aura, but nothing far from the truth. The secret in Atreya's power of command didn't reside in her magic abilities, but in her own confidence and how hard she has worked to nourish and develop it. Atreya comes from a humble elven family of merchants. She quickly learned the importance of the coin, but especially the power of the word, to create an illusion of closeness, familiarity, and trust. An illusion based on facts and hard work, but alas, an illusion. Atreya knew that such games have to be weaved with care, at a slow pace, like a dance. Atreya learned how to speak, move, and act in order to get people's attention, how to connect with her clients, how to deal, bargain, sign alliances, and last but not least, how to use her words in order to destroy her opponents if they threaten her family or loved ones. That's why, after feeling her powers awakening, she developed a close relationship with the School of Enchantment. She quickly realized how these spells weren't a cheap option for those who didn't have enough power of conviction. This new power could be used as an extension of her own talent. While studying and growing in power and knowledge, Atreya's ambition grew stronger. She wanted to spend her powers in the market, travel, meet new people, create trade routes, and create an empire of her own. Sadly, that would be difficult being born in a family with no trace of royal blood in it. She knew that succeeding on influencing the high elven society was almost impossible. However, that never stopped her contacting other races, other cultures, and establishing her family's name on the inner circles of nobles of the human courts, joining the trade route of the halfling merchants, or providing materials to the high architects of the Dwarven cities. The name Aribel soon becomes synonymous with wealth and quality. That's why so many people were confused when the golden child of the family announced that she will be joining the Academy of Arcane Arts of Mercury Tower. So many people thought she had been dealing with the Archmage in order to have influence in the Magic Council. Some other people think that she had a secret agenda. Even the enemies or rivals of her family hope she were retiring from the game in order to have a more peaceful life, giving them a chance to take back their influential territory. Whatever the theory, nobody knew the truth, but everyone knows that having the very Atreya Aribel shining her arts and techniques is a great opportunity and quite a challenge. Many students try their best in order to impress her, but that's quite a difficult quest. She can detect any bluff or hidden intention. Also, the difficulty is even higher when Beryl is around. Not many people had seen a white pseudo dragon. Many students are afraid from Atreya's familiar, which is capable to read any emotion or feel any change of heart, fear, and doubt. In the classroom, Atreya likes to focus heavily on manners and the power of the first impression. She insists of how important it is not to rely on your enchantments in order to subdue your opponents, but on how to create a perfect base of trust and safety so your perfectly executed spells tie their wheels with no escape. That's why she's very strict on the dress code. She won't tolerate anyone who isn't dressed properly or lacks conviction in her class. She will teach you how to adapt and move in any scenario so you're able to create the perfect space for your charms and magic. So here on the tower, you are under the social court of Atreya Aribel, and in this court, dress and manners are the most important thing. Oh dear, it seems like we are running out of tea. Here, let me prepare another teapot. In the meantime, you can like this video, share it with your friends, or even subscribe to this channel. I'll be right back with more tea and more secrets about the teachers and other characters from this school. See you in a minute, little sprout.